Xavier Warren.
And we're here today to talk about two of the most important things that you can incorporate in your life in order to be successful, and that's time management and being productive.
Time management is important for you to plan out your day to get the most out of it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that makes sure that you're efficient, and being productive makes sure that you're effective. And those two things I think, are foundation. You have to be efficient, you have to be effective to get things done and to get closer to your goals.
You have two situations. You have the individual that wakes up at 8 a.m. to go to that 9 to 5. Then you have the person that wakes up at 5 a.m. to work on some stuff, to work on their career and personal goals before they head to that 9 to 5.
Right, and I think that's really important because those morning hours are the most productive hours of the day.
Yeah.
That's when your brain is been proven to be the freshest. So get some stuff done for yourself in those first hours of the day before you go to work or before you do anything else. Make sure you're building on yourself, and I think that'll be very, very productive and helpful to who you are as a person, who you become.
Because the majority of successful individuals do what they feel is important early.
Yeah.
They do it earlier in the day. Think about it. If you're the individual that wakes up at 8 a.m., compared to the one that wakes up at 5 a.m., you're already at a disadvantage. You're actually at a 3-hour disadvantage on achieving your goals that you may have set in your life. You're only working on what is required of you at your 9 to 5 job.
Right, and I actually tweeted that the other day. I tweeted, it was like, I've done so much before you probably wake up. Like, how does that feel? Like, and I wasn't looking for an answer. I just put it out there. It's like, I really felt good that I had gotten so much done in the day before I knew most people were waking up to go to work. And it's like, I know I'm getting ahead, and I know I'm trying to work on beating the competition. And just knowing that gets you going. It hypes me up. It's like, okay, let me do something else. What else can I do? Like,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things where you kind of psych yourself into being very, very, very productive.
Well, if you look at it, I mean, we have people waving at us.
Like literally waving at us.
So, if you look at it, you have the average American out there works 40 hours, 5 days a week. Then you have some individuals like, you and I or other people out there that wakes up at 5 a.m. That works probably like 60 or 80 hours a week, 7 days a week. I mean, if you look at it by just doing the math compared to the person who wakes up at 8 to the individual that wakes up at 5, you have more time. You have more time to use to be able to be successful. I mean, you have to be successful compared to the average individual.
Right, and you say working, I don't want people to get that confused. It's like, oh my God, I have to be a workaholic to get ahead. I mean, because honestly, working on yourself doesn't really feel like work. Because you know that you're doing something to progress. So it actually is fun. It's like, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can read a couple hours, I can work on my vision board, I can do whatever I need to do to put things in place to make sure I'm always reminding myself of what the goal is. Because I think that's really important, is to know, like, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. So, because it's easy to feel burnt out. But if you know that you're getting closer to a goal in mind, it just feels like this is due process instead of excessive work.
Well, true success is a long-term process. You don't want short-term glory. You got to do something, if little, each and every day to reach your ultimate goal. So what are some things? I mean, the second half is productivity. What is something that individuals right now can implement?
First and foremost, I would prioritize. I would find out what is most important to me right now in order to get to that next level, to that next step. And I would do that in the evening or at night before I go to sleep. And also get in my head those things that I'm going to sacrifice the next day. And then lastly, I just got to wake up and do it. That's it. It's pretty simple. It's 3 things, boom, boom, boom. And now I have a plan for my next day.
When you prioritize your list of what you need to do for the next day, then you have your needs, and your needs need to happen in the morning. They need to happen earlier in the day. Get it out the way, because whatever is important to you should be the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
So everything that you want to do, you can do that later on in the evening. You can do that in the latter part of the day. Then, like you said, execute. I mean, what exactly is certain things that somebody can do to ensure that they stay on the right path?
What you can do is keep that vision of that long-term vision on your mind. Make sure that never escapes, that never wavers. It's like, I always know where I want to go. I always know who I want to be. And if I know that and know how important that is to me, I'll make sure I get things done. I'll make sure I knock things down, because nobody wants to be a loser. Everybody wants to win. So it's just a sheer decision that you have to make. Am I going to win, or am I going to spend this time not winning? I won't say necessarily losing, but just not winning. And that's what it comes down to. It's a simple decision. You have to make a decision on who you want to be and make sure that everything you're doing is constructive and getting to that point.
Well, one thing you have to remember as in dealing with time management and productivity is you have to hold yourself accountable. Certain things that you can do right now while you're sitting there. I know that I use my cell phone a lot. You have the calendar app. You have your day broken down by hour. Write down, when you make your list, write down, put in your calendar that sets your alarm that, okay, you need to work on this at this certain time. You need to go work on this activity. You need to go do this. You need to read that. It keeps me on the go, but keeps me focused on what I need to do. It reminds me, because sometimes you can lose track.
Yeah.
You have distractions out there.
Yeah.
But every day, at the end of the day, I saw that I could actually see what I have done previously to take another step towards my ultimate goal, and which, over time it builds great habits.
And you touched on a great thing, is that calendar of time, and I think that also creates a sense of urgency. It's like, okay, I have an hour that I've allotted to get this done. I need to get it done, or it's going to throw off the rest of my schedule. And that sense of urgency is key too, because it makes you productive. Because you can say, I need to get A, B, and C done today, and not really put a time frame on it, and waste a lot of time. Because you can check Twitter, you can do this, but I'm still in the process of getting something done, but I'm not as effective. But if you say, okay, I got an hour to do this, 2 hours to do that, okay, now I can go to work. I've got my 3 hours in ahead of time, so I can do what I need to do, go to work, then once I get off, I can spend an hour on C. And I make sure I get everything done in a 4-hour time period within the day, but it's kind of broken up, but it still gets done in 4 hours. Because it comes down to how you use your 24.
With that said, we want to leave you with a piece from a good friend of ours, Eric Thomas. But before we send you to him, send us an email of any topics or questions that you may have for us. But we want you to always remember that success is not easy. It's a lot of hard work. It takes a long time. I mean, success is not easy, but
success is simple. Thanks. What up, E.T.? Hey, how y'all doing?
Thank you. Good morning. Look, hold up. Look. Let's see.
If you only have 24 hours in a day, your success is dependent upon how you use the 24. You got to hear me. People talk about Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. Listen to me. I don't care how much money you make. You only get 24 hours in a day. And the difference between Oprah and the person that's broke is Oprah uses her 24 hours wisely.